Alright. What's up, everybody? Brand new balance patch has been announced, and it is live on the public test realm. You can also play using Scarlet's mod, I believe, of the balance changes. If you guys want to play on the current version of the game. But if you want to play a ladder, then you can just go over onto the private test realm on your launcher and play it out. I'm going to be playing Protoss on this one. Protoss versus Zerg. Yep, good luck. And I am going to be trying to basically use all the new things, all the things that got changed. So we're going to try and make Archons, because they're skinnier, they can move in and out of walls. Disruptors, because their splash is just a little bit smaller. Quite a few very minor nerfs for Protoss. High Templar are a little bit faster movement speed, which is awesome. And we've also got Observer's a little bit faster, so yeah, I'll get some Observers out. Carrier, of course, the Interceptors are a little bit bigger spread, so they're less vulnerable to like Fungal and Storm and Parasitic Bomb, because they spread out a little bit more on the target that they're shooting. But they also are a little bit weaker, 10 less shields per Interceptor. So there's a few changes there, so if we can add some Carriers later on, that'll be good. Sentries build faster, which only really matters mostly for like building them for pushes and stuff like that. Obviously combining with the what is it, the Ravager nerf. The Ravagers take a little bit longer to morph now, so you combine those two things together and it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to harass too hard because my opponent's probably much lower level than me. It's a pretty shitty wall, but I can reinforce that one later. So all of your upgrades as Protoss are going to be just a little bit faster. For those who don't know, Protoss upgrades are significantly slower than the other races because Protoss was winning games off massive upgrade advantages too much a couple of years ago. I say a couple of years, more like 5 years ago? I feel like those changes went in a long time ago. So they're slightly scaling back the nerfs to the upgrade time of the Protoss upgrades, which I think is absolutely fair enough, and always good to see people kind of and the pro gamers especially who helped make the patch really just going, hey, okay, we changed this thing back when it was a problem, but now this race is just weaker at this certain feature, and does it have to be that way? So addressing some of those things which otherwise might get a little bit ignored. I am going Stargate, I guess, just to get like an Oracle out just for safety, maybe even just straight Void Ray, because Oracle can be a little bit crazy with the amount of damage it does. I don't want to, I mean, like I said, most of the people I'm going to be running into, since it counts as a fresh server, are going to probably be Diamond players, something like that. And as a Grandmaster player myself, it's not exactly a fair match, so.
Give us your command.
Let's build that one. I'll make one Oracle. Oh! Okay, Chrono boost that. We see drones popping out, link speed's on the way, and isn't mining gas, so we can just get out of here.
Dimensional strings attuned.
Okay, let's go take that back base. Now, cool little thing, stasis traps now. My opponent can actually command those drones to go back to work from within the stasis trap, which you used to not be able to do. You used to only be able to give them move commands, but now they can get anything other than a build command, they can now get from within the stasis trap, which is really actually very cool. Alright, so what do they say? I wanted High Templar and Archons and Disruptors. Basically all the splash damage boys. So I'll get up a few more gateways, build another pylon at the front just to make sure that's solid.
The enemy has discovered us. Na Zuktai. We meet our fate.
There we go, we've got lots of guys going up. You can go there. Pylon there. Get a forge as well. Alright. Make an observer. Those do build a little bit quicker. We're going to get a Templar Archives and a Robo Bay. And I guess a second Robo Bay as well. We'll make charge just so I have a cheap unit available in case I do get in trouble. There we go. Looks like my Oracle actually died. That I was not expecting.
Yes, Executor.
Phase crystal
Cool. Just grab a drone. Looks like there's an Overlord in the middle of the map. Now notice the Observer's a bit bigger, but it also moves faster. This is so people can notice. You know, it's harder to just be watching from the shadows, basically, without, you know, giving away what you're up to. We'll go that there, that there. All right, we can probe up the 4th base. Gonna make one more Observer. And yeah, this Void Ray is just gonna continue to go around the edges, looking for stuff that we can do, make a few disruptors. Obviously want to make like some cannons and batteries just to be a bit safe here. And we've built most of the sandbox that we can use now to explore all of these changes, okay? So, especially if we get like a cannon in each mineral line. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Alright, so we can get an observer out in the middle of the map. Void Ray can come in. I saw Queens coming in this direction. They could transfuse that to save it. But there we go. No, good transfuses from him. I was like, if he's a bit slow on the second one, then, you know, maybe it'll work out, but...
Where shall we mark?
Alright, we're going to put the High Templar on the main army key. And we're also going to make some Archons here as well. Okay, we're going to make a bunch more gateways. Okay. More disruptors are on the way. Trying to get these gases up here. So check out this. The Archon, you see it has the same collision with other units, but it can squeeze through single space gaps, which it used to not be able to do. It's weird, because it kind of, I don't know how they did that, where it still takes up, you see how it looks almost bigger when it's near units? That's interesting. Okay, these guys are going to go off to that side to deal with those Zerglings. Okay, you guys go there. Yeah, trap those dudes. Oh no, we're gonna lose the Void Ray. That sucks. Okay. Alright, let's go forward and start using some of this splash damage, shall we? Oh, it comes in and focuses down a High Templar. Cost a lot of Zerglings, though. Oh, it's a lot of Zerglings. Okay. Alright, let's now go towards carriers, because the carrier interceptors have changed a little bit. So we do want to actually check that out. Start getting the upgrades for that. Air weapons. Sending just a few zealots around the map to try and get all that going. Where's the observer? There it is. Oh, it was a good shot. Okay, we've got some carriers on the way. Hello? Click on the... Oh, that's screwing up. I think that I just found a bug. Either that or I was just misclicked. We'll check on that later. Because basically I clicked the observer to follow the Archon and it kind of derped out a little bit. That was weird. Oh, okay. Opponent's going hard, man. Ooh. The radius is definitely just a little bit smaller on that disruptor. The High Templar are also a little bit faster. These are not giant changes by any means. Alright, I want to get that +2 plasma shields. We've already got +2 air attack on the way. Okay. Alright, so the interceptors are a little bit weaker, and also when your guys attack, they create a wider radius around the target. So the interceptors, notice they move out just a little bit further than they used to. Interesting. Okay, let's keep going. Where are my observers at? It's a lot of lurkers. He did not want me to be playing carriers, I'll tell you that much. So nice abduct, but there's not many Hydras there, so I don't know if it really matters. Zealot's doing some good damage on that side as well. Let's create some more choke points here, just to show off this. I have observer speed as well.
Consciousness awakened.
Okay, let's get +3 plasma shields, +3 air attack, get some armor upgrades. Okay. Let's try and just blanket some splash damage down on this. Notice the High Templar do keep up with the army a little bit easier. That is expensive. And you'll notice the interceptors die a little bit quicker to those Hydras, just A-moving them. Oh, I mean, disruptors are still disruptors. Even with the reduced radius, when your opponent's clumped up that bad, 1.5 down to 1.35 radius does not change much. Oh my god. My opponent's playing really good though. I'm really impressed these days because even like diamond players and stuff, I don't know my opponent's rank. I feel like they punch on so well in big macro games because everyone's macro is so good these days in StarCraft. Everyone's always building these giant armies. Alright, let's try and send some zealots out the left side as well as punching up here. Oh shit, that's like most of my money gone. Okay. Alright, these guys can go there. Alright, let's initiate on this army. Alright, some good storms, some good disruptor shots. I think that might get me the win. Carriers should be able to push in now. We've got a good zealot run by on the right as well. Let's try and move these observers forward. And you can send some zealots down that left side as well. Alright, that should be it. Alright, so nothing too much. I feel like Protoss changes are probably the lightest. I don't know why. I feel like the Raven change for Terran is so much bigger. And it'll be interesting to see how that interacts with Protoss. The Hydra and the Ultralisk changes are quite big as well. It does feel like for Protoss it's a lot more just very minor nerfs here and there. But this is my very first game with them. So obviously this is first impressions. Let's look at some of these explosions landing in these fights, because obviously when you're microing it, it's a little bit more frantic. So let's just, we can watch from his view, because that's going to see the splash damage a little bit more, I think. We are playing with a bit of lag, so excuse my very poor spellcasting abilities. I am very curious. I would say if I'm going on the ladder, and the next time I do play a PvZ, what I really want to utilize is a sentry push, and especially because a lot of Zergs are already, even before this patch, they're already skipping Roaches and Ravagers, and Ravagers are also even slower to morph now. So if people are still trying to play this like heavy Zergling stuff with no Ravager tech available, I feel like force fields are just going to absolutely ruin them. So I actually think there'll be some interesting meta shifts as a result of the Sentry building quicker, and you've also got the Ravager morphing 5 seconds slower, which is massive. Let's go to the next big fight. I don't know if you guys could actually notice the difference in the High Templar movement speed. What you'll notice is they're just a little bit, they're not lagging behind quite as bad. Now this is obviously where I was distracted by the Zergling run by. I looked back and my army was getting absolutely blitzed. Just super bad for me. But yeah, I think the Archons being able to move in and out of the walls is fantastic. I think you'll be able to do some really good defenses against Zerg in messy positions. High Templar move speed is quite nice, but keep in mind Hydras are also going to be much more stutter steppable, and they move a little faster with their movement speed upgrade as well now. So both of those are things to keep in mind as we play out this new state of balance. Yeah, the Purifier Orbs, it's hard. I feel like I'll adjust so quickly to this because it's already, like, there's no real difference in how you use it. You just, like, if your enemy's units are clumped up, you hit a few less Marines or Hydralisks or Zerglings. It's not that big a deal. That's cool, though. I'm just excited to see how this shakes things up, and I think from the Protoss side, more than anything, I don't have any kind of idea about 100% what I would change in my builds, because I don't think there's anything in these proposed changes other than the fact that upgrades are a little bit quicker. So maybe focusing on them a little bit harder again. Other than that, I'm kind of like, I'm looking at these balance bet changes and I'm like, is there anything that crazy? Like, I don't think so. I think as Protoss, you're basically going to be adjusting to what the changes are that your opponents throw out and what changes for them as well. Now, there was a fight down here on the bottom right as well. So let's take a quick look at this. The battery overcharge, for those who don't know, it heals at only 150% of its normal rate rather than 200% of its normal rate. So that is a rather big nerf to the shield battery overcharge. But I do worry a little bit that Protoss has been hit more by the nerf hammer in this patch than the other races. And I don't know if that was entirely necessary. I do think overall all the changes are pretty slight. None of these are big sweeping, oh, that unit has half its damage taken away. But definitely if we're going to play the blame game and the who comes out on top, feels like first impression is that Protoss is probably coming in as the loser. It's kind of hard to judge the battery overcharge because we had so many units attacking just then. They would have been blasted down almost instantly no matter what. And those Novas looked massive. They looked massive. I'm not gonna, yeah, I definitely don't think the Disruptor's dead. Anyone who's saying that can definitely shut up. Those Disruptor shots are still huge. Either way, I'm just excited to have the balance mixed up a little bit, messed up. I hope you guys are as well. If you haven't already watched the video going over all the changes, check that one out over here, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye and good night.